barrel or not, I'm going to give you a little bit of a explanation for this one.
Okay.
Barrel or not, eating in your car while driving. Now, this is not on a road trip where you're 8 hours in the car that you're forced. This is you're 15 minutes away from home. You pick up the food and you're hungry. Do you wait until you get home to eat or do you eat in the car?
There's a third way, David Lee Scales. You pull over and eat in a parking lot is what you do, or you eat somewhere outside. Eating in your car is always a bad idea, I think, unless exactly you're on that 8 hour road trip and there's no option. It just is what it is. You're taking care of a need. There you go. But like worrying about the inevitable drip from the sandwich or burger or whatever it is, because what you're eating in the car, oddly, is likely very messy. It's either tacos with guacamole on them. It is a burger with ketchup and sauce. It is a sandwich with melted cheese and whatever. Like there's not very many neat foods to eat that you're going to get if you're, stopping out what? I mean, Panda Express, some orange chicken and noodles. Anything's going to spill or splatter. But you don't want to get home because cold, I'm assuming most of this is fasty food, right? Like, or
Doesn't
takeaway
matter.
food, takeaway food.
15 minutes is the only thing that matters in this question.
Yeah.
So, because you're saying, I agree with you. Anything that's delicious is going to be messy. It should be
Yep.
leaking some amount of juices.
Jus. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So, that messiness is going to be a problem if you're in the car no matter what. But the 15 minutes, would you actually pull over to the side of the road? If you can be home in 15 minutes, you're going to pull over and spend 10 minutes eating? Or do you just eat when you get home? And again, you're hungry. So do you wait the 15 minutes or do you eat in the car, either driving or pulled over?
That 15 minutes is the perfect amount of time for that food to lose 45% of its deliciousness. Like
In
that,
terms of warmth?
in terms of warmth, exactly. That lukewarm that it gets in that 15 minutes, the fries, if you got fries, are 60% less good. The burger, if you got a cold sandwich, I'll say, for the record, if you got a cold sandwich with no dressing on it, no vinaigrette, no nothing that's going to like make it soggy, uh, feel free to go home. Man up, tough out that 15 minutes. But if it's anything hot or warm or sauced, which is anything you should be eating, pull over, enjoy it.
So if you are ever picking up food for the family for dinner, it has to be within a 15-minute radius or maybe 14-minute radius.
Yes, and I dislike now. I've realized that 15-minute cool down so much so that if the place is longer than 15 minutes, then we will go there even if nobody wants to go out.
Wow.
Like the places I bring food home from are a legit walk away.
Wow. Okay. So this is something I have felt passionate about for 20 years without even realizing I was passionate about it. And then a listener emailed me about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is a thing for me. I will not eat in the car. Like
No,
I will,
that's sure.
and it has nothing to do with the messiness. I don't even care about getting my car messy. It's strictly to do with I enjoy food so much more when it is the sole focus of what I'm doing.
I hear you, but what if like that In-N-Out burger that you have at home, you put it on a plate, you pour some ketchup on the plate. It doesn't taste even, it's like a good 40% less delicious than A, having it In-N-Out, or B, stopping 5 minutes out and having it in the quick parking lot. That 5 minutes actually benefits your food. I've realized the 5 minute window, the sauces and whatnot soak in that much more. Like, I think food is supposed to rest a tiny bit. Go to the resting place, eat your food.
So I would argue the 40% reduction in flavor that you get after 15 minutes is buoyed by a 50% increase of enjoyment by simply sitting and focusing on the burger itself and not being distracted by whatever's going on in your car. So
Oh
I'm a
man,
net gain of 10%.
it's true, except, and here's where our truck listeners will understand, and maybe it's time for you to get a truck, David Lee Scales. The pulling over and hanging either sitting on the tailgate or kind of hanging over into the bed eating it's like a moment of pure bliss. Because when you're home, inevitably there's going to be a bother. There's going to be, even if you're home alone, your computer's there. You could bang out a quick email or something. When you were hanging on the bed of your truck, eating your burger, that's the only thing in the world you're thinking about.
The
Pure focus.
Yeah, the tailgate meal is an epic meal, that's
It
for
is
sure.
always.
Now, here's the other problem if you're eating in the cars, where do you put your wine or your beer?
If you're, I mean, again, you eat out of the car, and if you have a truck, you put it in the bed of your truck.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because that's the other thing. That's the other thing why I want to head home to eat is
get a drink.
there is a pairing involved, and the pairing that the beverage never comes from the restaurant to go. You know what I mean? Like it's always at home. And so that's another draw to get home for me.
The wine is a tougher one, but if you're
Yeah.
getting your burger and beer, enjoy it in that bed of your truck, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we slightly land divided on this one.
Yep.
Um, barrel or not number two, walking home from the beach or across to the car or whatever, walking a distance from the beach in your wetsuit with shoes on,
Guess
not
who does
sandals,
guess who
shoes.
does this all the time? Did somebody see me and call this in?
Wow, you nailed it. A listener came up to me at the boardroom show and
Yep.
he goes, dude, I got a barrel or not for you. Walking across PCH in vans that are not tied and you're compressing the heel, soaking in your wetsuit, soaking your shoes.
Here's the problem, and I would not do this other than I do not like to, for me to get to the beach, I have to go a long way around to get across the train tracks back around this way. Those train track trestles, the lava rock that they use to pack in there, are the most painful of rocks that the earth has ever made. So I park on this side of the tracks, da 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 da, hop the fence. There's always burrs and stuff in there, over the painful train tracks and down. And now I'm on the beach side, and I know full well I should probably just ditch the shoes there and be normal. But no, this is where, and this is for sure where I got caught, is like I look like I parked and am wearing my shoes from my car to the beach, which is not, I should leave the shoes by what I'm hearing and what I'm reassessing. I should leave the shoes by the train tracks and just use them to cross the tracks.
Hey, it's up to you. All I know is the listener, it was at the boardroom show, face-to-face interaction. He painted that picture and he goes, I'm pretty sure it was Chaz. I'm like, well, I mean, he's pretty identifiable. I mean, what did he was he 6'3"? Yeah. Did he have neck tattoos? Yeah. Super skinny white guy. Yeah. I'm like, I think that's him. And I forget he named the spot too. And I was like, yeah, I think that's his spot.
Yeah, it's for sure. And I think about this when I see people look at my wetsuit down to my shoes when I'm walking down that path.
That's so funny. All right. Well, barrel it is.
Yeah.
Barrel or non number three. Hey, Chaz and David. I was out surfing one of the rare fun days in Venice yesterday with my girlfriend. It was a classic fall day, light offshore winds, plenty of sunshine, peaks up and down the beach from a short period west swell. We were both in high spirits, trading waves at our own little sandbar. A beautiful right popped up. My girlfriend began to paddle for it, and I could tell she was too deep while I was in the perfect spot. I resisted the urge to go, lest I should incur her wrath by sending the message that I knew that she couldn't make it. Predictably, though, she didn't make the section, and I watched with a lump in my throat as the wave reeled off unridden. We surf together a lot, and this happens regularly. She's a competent surfer, but we've had so many sessions together that I can tell whether or not she'll make a wave as soon as she paddles for it. My question for you is this: Am I implementing the right policy? Is it barrel or not to burn your partner when you know that they're not going to make a section? We have another couple that we surf with who has a completely different dynamic. I watch in disbelief as the man in the relationship consistently goes in front of his wife, sometimes even calling her into waves before burning her as she tries to navigate a tricky section. Please advise Greg in Santa Monica.
Greg, this is a phenomenal, phenomenal barrel or not. Something that any married or coupled man with a surfing partner has dealt with, where You know, I know, everyone knows when somebody is too deep or not going to make it. This, unfortunately, is one that you gotta fall on the sword on this one, because saying, like, you knowing that partner is not going to make that drop or section or whatever is would be all fine and good if this was a perfect world where everybody knew that, also including partner. Partner does not know that for sure. Partner's paddling not because they think they're going to get blown up. And this not a man and woman thing here. This is for the, like, Coco, whoever boyfriend Coco Ho has too, right? At any time. Coco Ho sitting there watching boyfriend be too deep unknowing. Uh so I guess here we go. If the girl is a better surfer than the boy in the relationship, girl should burn at will, especially if the boy is making dumb mistakes like being too far inside. If it is girl on inside making mistakes, boy, you just got to suck it up and just let that wave go by, because it is like that undermining of
Yeah,
you are too weak will erode that relationship pretty dang quick.
I completely agree. You have to let her not make the section and let the wave go unridden. Um, Number one, she will, if she had any shot of making that section, once she sees that you don't have confidence in her, that shot is gone. And
Yeah,
she's lost confidence in herself. And so allow her to make those mistakes unmolested and eventually figure out how to make the section. You know what I mean? And waves will go unridden, unfortunately. That's
it's just
something
the
that
price. It's
the
the
toll
price you
that you
pay for a
take.
happy life at home.
And so then number two is undermining the wife or the partner in general. Just a bad decision, full stop. You know, it just speaks to something much, much greater. And so giving full confidence, it's called unconditional love, unconditional confidence in all things and making way is a beautiful thing that who knows the potential that can unfold with that type of mentality. The few waves that are going to go unridden because of it is a small price to pay to find out what potential could develop from that style of a relationship.
I 100% agree, unless with the caveat that it is Coco Ho and her, whoever she happens to be dating, or Steph Gilmore and whoever she happens to be dating. I think a good, when the woman surfer is better than her male partner, she needs to regularly shame her male partner into getting better. She needs to burn him. And then when he says, "Hey, why'd you burn me?" She's going to say, "You were too deep, man. Stinking learn your lesson." You can't do
Could
that.
be.
Can't mansplain that to your and this is, I know I'm really out on a limb here talking about gender roles, etc., but I feel, woman, burn your man if you're better than him. Man, do not burn your woman.
Could be that men and women are different and wired differently, and that the burning of the male uh, stimulates uh, growth and building, you know, and learning and all that sort of stuff. So that could be true.
Male needs to be shamed, and this is going to be the last show we ever had just because you dared utter that there might be differences between the sexes. So
You dared utter it. Send your feedback to chaz@beachgrid.com. Yeah, well, I think we may have helped solve a relationship problem here. And I will
definitely.
also ask Greg in Santa Monica, why don't you write us back in a year or two from now about that other couple whose
Yes,
husband
please.
goes with impunity on every single wave, and let us know how that relationship is going?
Please do. That, you know who that couple was? Will and Jada Pinkett Smith.
I love the memes that have been going around about that. It is brutal.
Talk about a couple who, just get out of the damn spotlight. Get out of the spotlight. Nobody asked for this. Nobody like, everybody's sick of this. And you're just like heaping onto each other for why? I don't think you want it either. Your kids don't want you to be doing it. Nobody wants us. You guys are out. Guess what, guys? Come over and look at all our dirty laundry. It's like, I don't want to look. I'm grabbing you by the hair and pulling you into my house to look at my dirty laundry. I'm opening your eyes with toothpicks so you can look at my dirty laundry. It's wild.
Look at dysfunction under a microscope, and we're going to spoon feed to you dysfunction that feels so detrimental to every person in the family involved. Like
Everyone, to the
Will
children.
Will is being dramatically traumatized by this. Jada, I don't think, is learning any lesson at all through any of this. The kids are being traumatized by all of this, and they are unaware, self unaware of the trauma that they are inflicting upon themselves, that they are actually directing the spotlight at themselves to talk about it further.
More. Let me write a book about this now, and then let's sit down and do like a big book tour where we talk about it a lot ad nauseum. Wow.
It's really a wild time that we live in.
I can't wait for the Kelly Slater version of this. Kelly, bring it on.
We already had one memoir from him. We don't need
Oh,
another. Pipe Dreams number 2, Pipe Dreams part 2, Backdoor Dreams, maybe.